Hey guys, this is Wolfie here with a special presentation. This involves the city of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, global for the 3rd of June 2019. And I'm going to keep the title of this video very simple: Golbez versus Rinoa. Now, what is up with these two characters? They are highly sought after by a good chunk of the community. I myself personally will not be pulling on either of these banners. And that's partially because I'm not a fan of Golbez. I'm also not a fan of Rinoa. And that's that on that. And for me, there are other characters I'm also saving up for. Two of which, these two are going to be coming in later on this year. So that's kind of the reason why I'm like, okay, let's not really pull on these banners, you know. Meta might be meta. And meta, if you guys don't have any clue, that's an acronym for the most effective tactic available. But it's one of those that's like, does it really matter? Do you really want to pull out characters that are only meta? Or do you want to have fun, create your own strategy, that sort of thing? And I'm of the latter. I'm like, you know what? Pull for your favorites. You may find another way to get to the same goal. And a lot of this information that I've come across comes from the Cydia database website. I've also took a look at some stuff on each of these characters on Reddit. So if you're still stumped, those are two amazing sources to go by. So I'm going to go with Golbez first because he's coming up later on this week. So that way people get to see, you know, people might want to start thinking. And for me, I try to do my research ahead of time, so that way, once the information I come up is recorded, all that stuff, at least I know what I'm talking about. Now, and I'm gonna, as always, I'm gonna with stuff like this, I'm gonna put a description. I'm gonna put in the description the link to the database website, so that way you can get your information and make up your own conclusions. So with Golbez, his stats are quite well rounded, so you can think Celeste and Sarah a little bit, because both of them, their stat grids are well balanced. Despite that, one of my biggest concerns is the moveset itself, because almost all of his moves are of the dark element. So and you guys may have recalled, we recently got Paladin Cecil on global. His moveset, one way or another, is of the holy element. And with Golbez is the opposite element, which is the dark. So almost his entire moveset is of the dark element. And because of that, and that being a big concern, and this is partially because we already have enemies on the global side that absorbs the dark damage, he is one of those people that can be benched if A, the opponent, like I just said, if the opponent absorbs dark damage, B, the opponent has a resistance of any level to dark damage, C, is resistant to magic or melee damage, because there's one of his moves has a bit of a combination of magic and melee, or D, a combination of any of the three. So he's one of those, it's like you're going to have to bench him if any of those conditions apply. So with his EX ability, again, I forgot the name. You do want to go to the database website to get the exact name. This is one of those, it doesn't have has a bit of a slow-ish recharge speed. So it's one of those, it's like, he kind of has to rely on the rest of the team alongside using his own abilities to really make any use of it. And speaking of his own abilities, he does need time to set up. So it's one of those, it's like, is he good for the long haul? And that kind of concerns me, because when it's all said and done, when you have him like completely at 60-60 when he first comes on to global, and you only have six usage of the first two moves, I have to ask myself, it's like, is this guy going to keep me going for a long fight? You know? That's something kind of like, I had to, and something I'm like, that kind of worries because it's like, he's like, if you keep using all your moves, it's like, you kind of run out and he's no longer good. So, and when it comes to, and the thing is with him, when it comes to buffs, you gotta think a little bit like units like Lightning, because it's like, you gotta have, like, the proper buffs onto yourself. You gotta have, like, the setup already complete, and then it's like, with the EX move, you have to, like, make sure it's at a decent speed in sense of, like, for him to pull it off. So it's one of those that's like, eh. And then the thing is with the, reducing the number of turns with the S for number of turns with the support unit, with him being able to do that, I mean, honestly, that kind of hurts his, usefulness, in my opinion. And with the fact that he only has 6 of each move, when you have him at 60-60, and with all his gear passives, I'm like, he's not that great, in my personal opinion. And it kind of really hurts him, in my personal opinion, where you need to have some moves, you have to use some of his stuff up in order for him to be okay. If that makes any sense. So, with that out of the way, we're going to go into Rinoa. Like I said, I'm going to be fair. And with Rinoa, the biggest worry I have with her is the HP and defense stat. And they're both quite low. So you think about units like Lightning, Kuja, Fancred, Rydia, any unit who has a low base HP and defense stat. Meaning that they can hit like a truck, but they really cannot take hits because, and this is in the sense of one well-timed hit, and this is regardless if Rinoa is not brave broken, one well-timed hit can kill her. And that's something you guys do not want. So she's one of those that she needs a healer involved and or a tank that can take on the damage for her. Now the thing is with the bit with the healer bit, there are people who can help sustain her HP whenever she's not using Angelo Recover. Got Lenna, Eiko, Selfie, Brim, Maria. Those are the units who can help heal. And the only reason why I'm not including Rosa is because Rosa does not have her rework or 70-70 Awakening. We just got her on Global. But yes, Rinoa is one of those, needs a healer on her team. And with the fact that, and one of the reasons why she needs a healer is that when it comes to her second ability, Angel Wing, I mean, it does have more potential to do more damage. However, the after effects of Angel Wing, her Brave attack and her HP attack consume her HP, which is why you need a healer to really to make sure Rinoa stays alive. And another thing to point out, she also has low amount of uses of the Angel Wing, so it's like, if you use that, it's used at your own risk. And that's something that, again, you really have to be careful of, especially if you don't have a good healer. And like Golbez, and this is to be completely fair, she is reliant on her passives and gear to be at her best. I mean, fortunately, she excels at, she doesn't need much of a setup. As much of a setup as Golbez does, but yeah. Something you really gotta keep in mind. She has and like Golbez, she also has a slow-ish recharge speed for her EX move. So she's another one of those, it's like, you have to rely on her abilities as well as the speed of her other members on the team. So, and the thing is, for Rinoa, she really is going to have to bank on Angelo Cannon to do the damage in order to really not put yourself at as much of a risk as Angel Wing, because Angelo Cannon has more uses than Angel Wing, even though the after effects of Angel Wing is much more devastating than Angelo Cannon. And the thing is with the EX move, I was doing a little research here. The EX weapon also cancels out Angelo recover / cannon. So it's like, if you're using either Angel Wing or her EX move, you lose the HP region ability that Rinoa can do onto herself. So this is another reason why she needs a healer alongside her to offset that. And again, so it's one of those. It's like, do I really want to go after Rinoa even though she's better, or do I want to wait a while longer because because what she does may not be as beneficial as I think. So I do have a question for myself. It's like, if I were to pull on either one of these banners, who would I go for? And again, I'm not pulling on these banners, but if I were, there would be one banner I would pick on to pull if I really wanted to. And again, this decision was not easy. And my pick for the sense of who I would go after if I was going that way, but again, there are other banners I'm going after, and I really do need to save my resources. I would pick Golbez over Rinoa. And part of the reason I would pick Golbez over Rinoa is that Rinoa's really good at what she does. Not elemental. But Golbez has the better stat grid than Rinoa, in the sense of him being more balanced. Granted, he is one of those where you do need a little bit of a setup to have him really going, but the fact that he got other people that can help him out in that department until he gets the EX up and running. And with the Dark Element being almost his entire moveset, that actually is one of those that is beneficial in the sense that a person has no resistance to the dark element, as well as those being weak against the dark element. So I'd rather have, something like, have someone with like a better overall stat grid. That's someone who I saw this on Reddit, could be considered a glass nuke. And that's some people. There are some, and again, that's how Rinoa is described on Reddit, because she hits like a nuke, but her HP and defense stat tells her that she can dish out the damage, but she really cannot take it. And the only way Rinoa can take the damage, quote unquote, is through a tank, and as well as another healer. And I'd rather, for me, I don't really like using a healer and a tank in the same party, especially if the tank cannot have any ways to sustain their own HP. And the fact that Rinoa's second move will cause her to lose HP, it's just like, I really cannot justify myself pulling on her banner at all. But again, like I said, I'm also not pulling on Golbez until his last chapter shows up, so it's something sad, but it is necessary. And I will end it on that. With Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.